Imagine finding out that the fruit bowl on your kitchen counter, the one you built specifically because you were trying to eat healthier, trying to do the right thing for your blood sugar, is quietly working against you for reasons nobody ever took the time to explain. Does that sound extreme? Unfortunately, it is not. The advice given to people managing diabetes about fruit is genuinely contradictory. One source tells you fruit is natural sugar and completely safe. Another tells you fruit is basically candy and you should avoid it almost entirely. A third says tropical fruits are dangerous, but never explains which ones or why or how much is too much. 3 completely different answers, all from people claiming authority. No wonder you are paralyzed. And that paralysis has real consequences. Some people have stopped eating fruit entirely, missing fiber, antioxidants, and compounds their body genuinely needs. Others are eating fruit freely with no strategy, watching their glucose numbers climb, and not understanding why. Neither group has been given the tools to make confident decisions. That changes right now. In the next 14 minutes, I am going to walk you through the 10 best fruits for blood sugar management and the 5 that demand serious caution. Not based on fear, based on the specific science of how each fruit actually behaves inside your body. I have spent over 2 decades working with patients managing blood sugar, and what I am about to share is the clearest map I know how to give you. Before we go further, drop a comment right now with just your country, nothing else. The information I am about to share applies differently depending on which fruits are available where you live and how your diet is typically structured. And if you have ever noticed that your blood glucose is higher in the morning than it was the night before, even on days when you ate carefully, add the word morning to your comment. That pattern tells me something specific about how your body is processing sugar overnight, and I want to address it before this video ends. Here is a scenario that plays out in medical offices every single day. A 64-year-old comes in for a routine follow-up. Blood sugar has been trending upward for 6 months. The doctor reviews the food diary, sees fruit listed every morning, a banana, a glass of orange juice, sometimes a mango smoothie, and says, "You need to cut back on sugar." The patient goes home confused. They thought they were already eating healthy. They were choosing fruit over processed food. So they do one of 2 things. Either they cut out fruit entirely and feel deprived, or they keep doing what they were doing and feel guilty every single time. What nobody told them is that the problem was never fruit itself. It was which fruits, in what form, and at what portion size. Research published in the journal Nutrients in 2021, analyzing dietary data from over 7,000 adults with type 2 diabetes, found that whole fruit consumption was associated with better glycemic outcomes. But fruit juice consumption was associated with worse ones. Same source, fundamentally different effect. That distinction is rarely explained with the clarity it deserves. Now, if you are someone who values understanding the why behind the numbers, not just being told what to eat, what I am about to explain is going to give you a completely different framework. 2 tools. Without them, the list is just a list. With them, you will understand the reasoning behind every single item. The first is the glycemic index, or GI. Think of it as speed. How fast does the sugar from a food enter your bloodstream? A GI above 70 means sugar enters like a sudden wave. Your glucose spikes sharply and your pancreas responds in emergency mode. AGI below 55 means sugar enters slowly and smoothly. That is what we want. The second tool is glycemic load, or GL. If GI is speed, GL is total volume. It tells you how much sugar actually lands in your bloodstream from a realistic serving. A GL under 10 is considered safe. AGL above 20 is a serious red flag. Think of it like water pressure in a pipe. High GI is a fast stream. High GL is a large tank. You need both numbers to see the full picture. The rule to carry with you when choosing fruit for blood sugar management, you want both low GI and low GL. One without the other is incomplete information. Throughout this list, I am using a standard 120 gram portion, roughly 4 ounces. So we are comparing reality to reality, not a tiny handful to a massive bowl. These are not small differences. These numbers determine whether a food supports your management or undermines it. And yet, most people have never been shown them in this context. Let us go through the 10 fruits that genuinely support blood sugar control. I have saved the one I recommend most for last. Number 10 is plums, GI of 39, GL of 5. Plums sit comfortably in the safe zone and are rich in vitamin C. They also contain compounds that support liver function, which matters for people managing insulin sensitivity since the liver plays a central role in regulating how glucose is stored and released. A plum is a trustworthy choice when you want something naturally sweet without ambushing your glucose levels. Number 9 is pears, GI of 38, GL of 4. Excellent numbers. But here is the specific detail that matters. The fiber in a pear is not evenly distributed. A large portion of it is concentrated just beneath the skin. Peel your pair and you are peeling away significant protection. That fiber acts as a physical barrier that slows the release of sugar into your bloodstream. Eat it whole, skin on. Number 8 is apples, GI of 36. GL of 6, apples contain a soluble fiber called pectin. Pectin does not just slow sugar absorption, it also helps reduce LDL cholesterol in your digestive tract. For a person with diabetes, cardiovascular risk is the primary long-term concern. One apple with its skin is doing 2 jobs at once. Number 7 is passion fruit, GI of 27, GL of 5. Remarkable numbers, passion fruit is among the most blood sugar-friendly fruits in existence. It also contains compounds that support deep restorative sleep. This matters because poor sleep directly worsens insulin resistance. Research published in Diabetes Care demonstrated that even a single night of shortened sleep can reduce insulin sensitivity meaningfully in otherwise healthy adults. Passion fruit is not just a snack. It is a nighttime strategy. Number 6 is oranges. And I need you to pay close attention here because what I am about to say has more practical impact on your daily blood sugar than almost anything else in this video. A whole orange, eaten with all its segments intact, has a GI of 40 and a GL of 5. Safe, nutritious, genuinely beneficial. But drinking orange juice is not the same food. To fill one glass, you use 2 or 3 oranges. Would you sit down and eat 3 whole oranges in one sitting? Probably not. You would eat 1 and stop, but in juice form, those 3 oranges disappear in under a minute. The fiber that would have slowed everything down is gone, removed with the pulp. What reaches your bloodstream is a concentrated wave of sugar. The GL of that single glass climbs above 20. This is where the healthiest seeming habit quietly works against you. Fresh, squeezed, organic, no added sugar, and still a problem because the issue is not what was added, it is what was removed. The fiber was removed. Eat your orange. Do not drink it. Number 5 is kiwi, GI of 38, GL of 9. Kiwi is dense in vitamin C and vitamin E together, and research has shown this combination supports healthy blood pressure. Approximately 2/3 of people with type 2 diabetes also develop hypertension over time. Kiwi lets you address both conditions with the same food choice. Number 4 is strawberries, GI of 41, GL of 3. That GL of 3 puts strawberries among the safest fruits for blood sugar. Their anthocyanins, the compounds giving them their deep red color, directly support the integrity of small blood vessels. The vessels feeding your heart, kidneys, and eyes are the structures most at risk as diabetes progresses over decades. Eat strawberries frequently, not occasionally. Number 3 is guava, GI of 23, GL of 3. That GI of 23 is extraordinary. White bread sits at around 75. A guava and a slice of white bread could not behave more differently inside your body, and they can cost similar amounts at the grocery store. Let me also knock down a myth that has scared people away from fruit they should be eating. The claim is that fructose, the sugar in fruit, damages the liver and therefore all fruit is dangerous for diabetics. This is false. Fructose becomes harmful in concentrated form, as in sodas and commercial juices, but the fructose in a whole guava arrives alongside fiber, water, vitamins, and polyphenols that completely change the metabolic picture. Your liver does not process a guava the way it processes a sweetened drink. Number 2 is peaches, GI of 42, GL of 4. Peaches are one of the most forgiving fruits for people managing blood sugar, sweet enough to satisfy a real craving, low enough in glycemic impact to be a genuine safe choice. And the principles throughout this list apply equally to type 1, type 2, and prediabetes. The science does not change based on your diagnosis. Number 1 is fresh cherries, GI of 27, GL of 6. As close to ideal numbers as you will find. But I want to emphasize the word fresh because there is a version of cherries that is the opposite of what I am recommending. Those bright preserved cherries soaking in syrup used to decorate desserts have been sitting in concentrated sugar for months. They bear no relationship to fresh cherries. Stay entirely away from those. Fresh cherries contain anthocyanins and anti-inflammatory compounds that research has linked to reduced vascular inflammation. A 2018 meta-analysis published in Nutrients found meaningful reductions in C-reactive protein, a key marker of the vascular inflammation that drives cardiovascular complications over time. If there is one fruit I would most want to see in a diabetic patient's kitchen every single week, it is fresh cherries. That completes the top 10. Now I need you to pay even closer attention. What comes next is where many people make quiet, consistent mistakes without ever realizing it. These are not obviously dangerous fruits. They appear in wellness plans, smoothie recipes, and hospital cafeterias. They have good reputations, and for someone managing blood sugar, that reputation is exactly what makes them easy to underestimate. I call these the high-stakes fruits, not forbidden. Demanding, eating them carelessly is like driving on a wet road at night. You might be fine. But the margin for error is far smaller than you think. Number 5 on the caution list is papaya, GI of 58, GL of 10. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain that supports digestion. That benefit is real. But for someone with diabetes, the digestive benefit and the glucose impact come in the same package. At a GL of 10, papaya sits at the boundary of what is considered safe. Keep portions small, eat it alongside protein, and do not make it a daily staple. Number 4 is pineapple, GI of 59, GL of 14. Pineapple has an impressive wellness reputation, partly due to an enzyme called bromelain. Some of that has scientific support, but your pancreas does not process a food's reputation. It processes the sugar load. At a GL of 14, pineapple delivers a substantial glucose challenge, half a cup maximum. Treat it with genuine respect. Number 3 is mango, GI of 56, GL of 14. Mango is beloved across cultures, and I understand completely. But I want to address one specific mistake I see constantly. Some people believe that adding chia seeds or flax seeds to a mango smoothie makes it safe for blood sugar. That is a trap. Here's what is actually happening. The seeds slow the rate at which sugar enters your blood. That is the GI effect. But the glycemic load, the total volume of sugar your body must process, is completely unchanged. Your pancreas still has to deal with every gram of that mango. You have stretched the timeline. You have not reduced the burden. Think of it like a debt paid in installments rather than a lump sum. The debt does not shrink. You are still paying every cent. Do not use one healthy food as a permission slip for another. Number 2 is bananas. GI of 62, GL of 16. Bananas are portable, affordable, and genuinely nutritious. The potassium, the B vitamins, I acknowledge all of that. But a GL of 16 means a banana delivers roughly 8 times the blood sugar load of an avocado. That comparison is not designed to frighten you. It is designed to show you the scale. 2 rules if you want to eat bananas. First, choose ones with some green still in the peel. As a banana ripens and develops brown spots, its starch converts progressively into fast-acting sugars. The riper the banana, the higher the impact. Same fruit, meaningfully different outcome. Second, eat half alongside protein. Number 1 on the caution list, and it tops the list for a reason that goes beyond chemistry, is grapes. GI of 61, GL of 12. The problem with grapes is not only the numbers, it is what happens every single time a person sits down with a bowl of them. You plan to eat a few. You eat one, then another. The small size creates the illusion that nothing significant is happening. Before you register it, you have eaten 20 or 25 grapes. The sugar equivalent of a candy bar. Grapes contain resveratrol, a polyphenol with real antioxidant properties. That is scientifically supported, but the portion problem grapes create in practice is equally real. If you want grapes, count them out before eating a single one. Set your number at 10 and stop there. Never eat directly from the bunch. 2 additional dangers that exceed any individual fruit on either list. The first is dried fruit. Raisins, dried apricots, dried mango. Drying removes the water, precisely what dilutes the sugar in whole fruit. Remove the water, and the sugar remains compressed into a fraction of the original volume. A small handful of raisins carries a GL that regularly exceeds 28. For people managing blood sugar, dried fruit is not fruit. It is concentrated sugar with a health reputation. Treat it accordingly. The second danger is ripeness. As fruit ripens, starches convert progressively into sugars. A just ripe banana contains substantial resistant starch that absorbs slowly. That same banana with brown spots has converted most of that starch into rapidly absorbed glucose. Same fruit, same size. Very different blood sugar outcome depending entirely on when you eat it. Choose fruit at peak ripeness or just before. I want to speak to you directly for a moment, not from a list, but as someone who has sat with thousands of patients navigating exactly what you are navigating. Beneath the questions about glycemic indices and safe portions, I consistently hear something else. Exhaustion. People who have received so many contradictory instructions from so many different voices that they have stop trusting their own judgment. People who feel as though every food choice is either quietly protecting them or slowly harming them. That is an exhausting way to move through the world. And it is not your fault. Here is what I also know. Trying to change everything about how you eat in a single week is a most reliable path to changing nothing permanently. Radical overhauls feel powerful in the first few days. They rarely last past 2 weeks. Small, specific, consistent changes are what actually move blood sugar outcomes over months and years. There is no fruit on this planet I am telling you can never touch your lips again. Not one. What I believe in is understanding. When you understand how a food behaves inside your body, you stop fearing it and start managing it. That is a different and far more powerful way to live. Here's what I'm asking you to do tomorrow. Just tomorrow. Not a new lifestyle. One specific thing. Look at your breakfast. Breakfast determines your glucose trajectory for the entire day. A high sugar morning meal creates a cascade of reactive hunger and elevated glucose that follows you all all the way to dinner, a stable breakfast changes the arc of the whole day. If you currently start your morning with sweetened cereal, white toast, fruit juice, or a blended smoothie, try this instead. 2 eggs, any style, and 1 fruit from the top 10 list, eaten whole. A peach, a small handful of strawberries, a couple of plums, nothing complicated, nothing expensive. The protein from the eggs slows everything down. The fiber from the whole fruit does the same. Here is what most people notice the first time they try it. The mid-morning crash disappears. The craving that usually arrives an hour after breakfast, the fatigue, the sudden hunger, it largely goes away when your morning meal stops being a glucose spike in disguise. One meal, one change. Give it 5 days and pay attention to what your body tells you. When that feels like you're normal, add the next one. Progress built on small, consistent wins is permanent. A perfect plan abandoned in frustration is not, let us bring it all together. The 10 fruits you can eat with confidence. Plums, pears, apples, passion fruit, whole oranges, kiwi, strawberries, guava, peaches, and fresh cherries. These are not just safe options. They are genuinely therapeutic, providing nutrients that protect your cardiovascular system and help your body manage insulin more effectively. The 5 that require real caution: papaya, pineapple, mango, bananas, and grapes. Not forbidden, demanding. Smaller portions. Attention to ripeness, never in dried or blended form. Always alongside protein. And the 2 rules above everything else. Whole fruit always outperforms juice or smoothie, and riper fruit always carries more sugar than fruit eaten at peak ripeness. Managing blood sugar is not a war against food. It is a project of understanding. The more precisely you understand how the foods you enjoy behave inside your body, the more genuine freedom you have. Not less freedom, more. Drop a comment right now saying, informed that this gave you a clearer map than you had before. I want to see that word in the comments. Think of one specific person in your life managing their blood sugar and struggling with all the noise around fruit. Send them this video right now. Not later, right now. That action might matter more than you realize. Subscribe to this channel. My mission is to give you honest, research-grounded health information that most people only discover after something has already gone wrong. You deserve to know it before that happens. In my next video, I am going to cover the specific meal timing strategy that research shows can reduce post-meal glucose spikes meaningfully without changing what you eat at all, only when and in what order. You will not want to miss it. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Blood sugar management must be individualized based on your complete medical history and current health status. Never adjust or discontinue any medication without first consulting your healthcare provider.